uptaking by the plants. Okay, so at first, as I have raised the term nutrition, let me explain to you what is nutrition. Nutrition is the food supplement that or the food substances that we take to gain energy. Okay, so we as a human, we have to take food to carry out different function throughout our day, isn't it? So the same, plants also need nutrition to carry out different function, to carry out the vital functions throughout the day. So as we can move and we can do different works, we cannot we can think that plant cannot move and they cannot do various work, but it's not that true. They are stretched, they are fixed in a place. Then also they can do several works throughout a day, which may not be visible to our eye, but we will discuss it. Then you will clear about the idea that what are the works that plants can do throughout the day. So if you will define nutrition, you can also define it by your own way. So if we will go for the definition of nutrition, so we can say the process of obtaining food by an organism for growth, development and to carry out vital functions or vital activities. So why we need nutrition? Why we need food? To carry out different vital activities to for the growth of our body. Okay, for the development of our body. Like that, plants also need nutrition for their growth and development. So if I will talk about nutrition, the animals cannot prepare our food by our own. This part is, I think, clear to you, and that's why we are known as the heterotrophs. Okay, we cannot make our own food because we do not have the material by using which we can make our own food. So all the animals, they depend upon the plants for their foods. Okay, so here we will discuss what all are the important things that plants can carry out to produce food. Okay, so let us move on to our next topic, that is autotrophic nutrition. What is autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic means, auto means self and nutrition means to feed, means those who can prepare their food by their own, they are known as autotrophs. Means autotrophic nutrition is a process in which organism can make or can prepare their food by their own by utilizing some of the important things that we will discuss. Okay, so who all are the autotrophs? All the plants are included under autotrophs. Okay, all the plants, they can prepare their food by their own, that's why they are known as autotrophs. Okay, so and we all, the animals, we always depend upon the autotrophs for our food. Okay, so anyhow we are carnivores, means we can feed on both plant material and we also feed on animals, but directly or indirectly. Suppose we feed on animals, suppose take an example of tiger. Tiger do not feed on plants, but tiger feed on, suppose, a deer, then deer feeds on plant. So indirectly tiger is also interlinked or associated in the process. Okay, so without the producers, who are the producers? Plants are the producers. Okay, we call them as autotrophs. So without the producers, it is very hard for the survival of the animals. So in our later part we will discuss that both plant and animals are interlinked. Plants also needs our help and animals also needs or depend upon plants for various activities to carry out and various activity throughout their life. Okay, so here autotrophic nutrition means the nutrition in which the organism can prepare its own food by using some of the things. Okay, so let us discuss what is this autotrophic nutrition. So autotrophic nutrition is basically carried out by plants, as I said, and plants carried out this autotrophic nutrition they can prepare their food by photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis is a process by which plant can make their own food. Okay, so if we will define photosynthesis, it is a very common topic. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process in which plants can utilize carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to prepare food, that is glucose, and by the time they will release oxygen to the atmosphere. So if you will write in a equation, then what we can write? We can write carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. They will produce what? Glucose. And they will release oxygen. So I have written the equation. You can also write it in your equation manner. So what you will write? Carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. They will release what? Glucose and oxygen. So this is the process of photosynthesis. You know already. This is a very known topic to you. So this is the process of photosynthesis, and now let us discuss what all are the basic requirements or what all are the raw materials which are needed for photosynthesis. Already I said carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll are the basic factors or the basic raw materials which are needed for or which are needed to carry out photosynthesis in plants. So let us discuss it one by one. So if we will talk about the basic requirements of photosynthesis, let us first discuss about carbon dioxide. Okay, so carbon dioxide is an important raw material which is needed for photosynthesis. So from where plants can uptake carbon dioxide? They can uptake carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Okay, so atmosphere or the air is a mixture. Already you have studied. It got so many gases with it. So carbon dioxide is one of them, and plants need to uptake the carbon dioxide for what? To carry out photosynthesis. Okay, so the next one is, so if we talk about carbon dioxide, how this carbon dioxide will enter to plant? Do you know what is there in plants so that plants can uptake carbon dioxide? If we will see the structure of a leaf, okay, if we will analyze the structure of a leaf, then leaves contain small pores, okay, which is very minute and we cannot see it by our naked eyes. Okay, we need a microscope to see these pores. On its lower side, it has small pores, and these pores are called stomata. Okay, stomata are the small pores present on the lower surface of leaves, and these stomata only, when it opens during daytime, by the help of the opening of the stomata, the leaves can uptake carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Okay, so how this stomata will open, I will discuss it in the next part. Okay, so this is all about first raw material or the first factor, that is carbon dioxide. Okay, let us move on to the next factor, that is water. Water. So water is also very essential factor for photosynthesis. Plants generally they take or they absorb water from where? From soil. So whenever we are talking about the uptaking of water, we have to keep it in mind. So this is the root and this is the soil. Okay, and roots or the root hairs helps in absorbing water. You will have this topic in transporting plants in your next class. Okay, so these root hairs, they will help the plant to absorb water. They will penetrate deep inside the soil and they will help to absorb water from the soil. Then if you have remembered in our tissue chapter, I have taught you about the vascular tissue, if you all have remembered. So what all are included in vascular tissue? Xylem and phloem. Okay, if not, then again revise the topic. Xylem and phloem are the vascular tissues which helps in the conduction of water and food in plants. Already I said, I have mentioned it in our first chapter it was. So in the stem, when roots absorb water, it will send water up to the stem, and stem it contains the vascular tissues, that is the xylem. Okay, xylem helps in transporting water upward. Okay, xylem takes the water from root and it will help the water to move up to the leaf. And again these leaves contain small veinlets, and by the help of the veinlets water can be distributed throughout the leaf. Okay, so like this plants can absorb water from the root, and by the help of xylem they can conduct or they can send water from down up to the leaf. Okay, so this is all about the second one. What is the third factor? The third factor is the sunlight. Okay, sunlight. So sunlight is a factor which helps in converting water and carbon dioxide into glucose. By the help of sunlight only, water and carbon dioxide can be converted into food or into glucose. Okay, so sunlight is also very important for photosynthesis, and plants need adequate amount of sunlight. If they will expose to more sunlight, then also the process of photosynthesis will hamper. If they will expose to less sunlight, then also the process of photosynthesis will hamper. That one we will discuss in factor affecting photosynthesis. I am not going to that part. So sunlight helps in the conversion of water and carbon dioxide into glucose. So what about the fourth factor? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the fourth factor, and chlorophyll is a green pigment, or chlorophyll is present inside the green plastid, that is the chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast is the green color plastid present in leaves and in young stems. So by using this chlorophyll, so see, inside the chloroplast chlorophylls are present, and these chlorophylls helps in trapping the sunlight. Okay, what is the main function of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll helps in trapping or in absorbing sunlight. As root helps in absorbing water, chlorophylls helps in absorbing what? Sunlight. So if we will talk about the structure of a chloroplast, as I said, chloroplast is a green color plastid. Inside that a green pigment is present, that is chlorophyll, and whichever green part we can see in a plant, that contains the chlorophyll pigment. Okay, so if we will talk about the structure of a chlorophyll, then chlorophyll is generally having two layers. Okay, the outer layer and the inner layer. Okay, so inside this chloroplast you can find small coin-like structure, placing one after another. These are the small coin-like structure, and these coin-like structures are called grana. Okay, these are called grana, and these granas, they are present or they are floating over a liquid matrix. It is called stroma. Stroma is the liquid matrix present inside the chloroplast, and it has a small coin-like structures floating over the stroma, and they are known as grana. And number of grana combined they are called as thylakoid. Okay, number of grana combinedly we can call it as thylakoid. linkage between the grana, and this linkage is called stroma lamella. This linkage is called stroma lamella. So this is a structure of chloroplast, is important. Okay. So if we will talk about the structure of chloroplast, again I am repeating, it got two membranes, that is the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Inside the chloroplast, it got some liquid content. As inside the cell we got the fluid part, that is the cytoplasm. The same inside the chloroplast we got the fluid part, that is the stroma. And so many coin-like structures, that is called grana, they are floating over the stroma, and number of grana together they form the thylakoid. Okay, and there is a connecting link between the granas. This is called stroma lamella. Okay, this is the structure of a chloroplast, and inside this thylakoids only they contains, or inside this chloroplast only they contains small green pigments, we call it as chlorophylls. Okay, chlorophylls are the green pigments which impart green color on plants, and they helps in trapping sunlight. How they will do this, you will have it in your higher class. Okay, now I'm not going into so details. So this is the fourth factor or the fourth raw material used for photosynthesis. Okay, so again go through this fourth raw materials which are used for photosynthesis. It is very important. The structure of chloroplast is very important. Okay, now let us move on to our next topic, that is factors affecting photosynthesis. What all are the factors that affects the rate of photosynthesis? Okay, so let us start with the first factor, that is sunlight. Okay, sunlight, as I said, it plays a very important role in photosynthesis. It helps in converting water and carbon dioxide into glucose. So plants should get adequate amount of sunlight. If it will expose to more sunlight, then all the chlorophyll pigments will be destroyed and it cannot able to undergo photosynthesis. If plants will expose to less amount of sunlight, then also it cannot undergo photosynthesis. So there should be minimum or optimum temperature. If you will talk about temperature, the optimum temperature to carry out photosynthesis is 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, so if the temperature outside is in between 25 to 35 degrees Celsius, then it is a very suitable temperature for to carry out photosynthesis. Okay, so if you talk about the second factor, that is the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide concentration also varies from place to place. Means in the industrialization areas the amount of carbon dioxide will be more, and in the village areas the amount of carbon dioxide will be less. So more carbon dioxide also hampers photosynthesis, and very less carbon dioxide also hampers photosynthesis. So there should be moderate rate of carbon dioxide, and we animals also exhaling carbon dioxide, isn't it? So by this we also helps plant. Okay, we exhale during our respiration, we exhale carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide only utilized by the plants to carry out photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide concentration should be in moderate condition, in moderate rate. Okay, next, water. As I said here, water is uptaken by the roots. Okay, by the help of the root hairs, the plant will uptake water and it will send it to the xylem vessels, and these xylem vessels will send water up to the leaf. Now, what about the prepared food? So by using water, carbon dioxide and sunlight, now leaves will produce or leaves will prepare food. But these food need to be transported throughout the plant, as we have done in our digestive system. If you all have remembered, we have done assimilation. What is assimilation? Assimilation is the the food, the digested food need to transfer to all over the body for equal growth of the body, or to undergo a very nice growth of our body. So here also, if plants they are preparing food, and if the food it will not be able to transfer to all or transported to all part equally, then their growth will be hampered. Okay, that's why another tissue called phloem. Okay, remember, phloem helps in the transport of food. Already we have discussed this. Xylem helps in transporting water up, and phloem helps in transporting food. But here also water plays a very important role. These foods they will be they will make a solution with water, and by the help of that when they will make solution, it will be easy for them to transport that food from one part of the plant to another plant. So water, without water, the photosynthesis process will hamper a lot. Again, one more thing here I have discussed, leaves contains small pores, we call it as stomata. Okay, so whenever plant will absorb water, means water reached to all the leaves, and now these leaves, the cells of these leaves will swell. We call it as turgidity. Okay, we can call this condition as turgid condition. Okay, turgid. Turgidity means swelling. So whenever plant will get or will absorb water, the cells or the stomatas will swell. And as I said, by the swelling of stomata or by the opening of the stomatal pore only, they can able to uptake carbon dioxide. So if we will imagine stomata, if it is closed like this during night time, actually stomata is closed. So during daytime, after uptaking water, stomata will open. Okay, why it will open? Because it will absorb water and it will swell. So when it will swell, it will automatically open. Just imagine about the dry pea. When your mother will soak the dry pea overnight, what will happen? The pea will swell, the pea will absorb water, it will swell, and the seed coat will burst or not because of the swelling. The same here, when plants will absorb water, the stomata will swell and it will make an opening, and it allows the carbon dioxide to move inside the leaf. Okay, so think how important water is in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so these are some of the factors that affects the rate of photosynthesis, and here we have completed the autotrophic nutrition. Okay, this is all about the autotrophic nutrition. We have discussed the photosynthesis, the process of photosynthesis. We have discussed a lot of things today. Again, go through your book. You can summarize this topic by your own. You can see here when plants get adequate amount of sunlight, adequate amount of water, adequate amount of carbon dioxide from atmosphere, and by the help of the chlorophylls present inside the green leaves and the green stems, these raw material like carbon dioxide and water, they will convert into glucose, and glucose is the main source of food, and this is the process by which plant can produce their own food. And as plants are producing their food, we can able to get our food. Okay, so without producers, the living world cannot exist. As I said, both plants and animals are interdependent on each other, and we should that's why maintain, or we should conserve our forest, we should maintain our ecosystem, so that we can save our producers. They are very helpful in our future. Okay, so again, go through the topic. We have completed this topic. In our next topic, we will discuss about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Thank you.